Hello everyone, welcome to EduTap and welcome to the Finance 360-degree sessions in which we cover the relevant notifications, RBI website and the finance current affairs. Okay, so today I have brought for you the revision session for the July 2024 part 1 in which we are going to discuss the 5 previous sessions that we have done in the Finance 360. Okay, so in the starting of the July, the sessions that we have done, so we are going to discuss that, we are going to revise that what were the important notifications, what were the important finance current affairs that were released during that time period, as well as in the June also there were 2-3 news articles that were left. So that also we are going to discuss in today's session. Okay, so let's get started and I hope that you are very excited about this session and you are going to give all the answers correctly. Okay, so good morning everyone, welcome to the session and let's get started with our revision session for the July 2024. This is the part 1 of the July 2024. Okay, so do subscribe to the YouTube channel of EduTap if you are new to the channel and join our Telegram channel. You will get the PDF of the session in the Telegram channel and the link for the Telegram channel is provided in the description box below. So let's get started with the first question. So this is the first question, as well as see, we have done June part 1. So there were only 2-3 news articles that were left. So I have brought it in the July part 1. So there will be no June part 2, that will not be available. So it is not required because I have brought the 2-3 news articles of Finance 360 in the July part 1 only. And then later on we will have the July part 2 in which the rest of the July that is left now. So that will be covered. Okay. So June part 2 will not be there. So let's focus on this question now, that it is necessary that the SRO, the self-regulatory organization, they operate as a true representative of the sector. So there is the application criterias that have been set by the Reserve Bank of India for the SRO of NBFCs. So what are those criterias that you have to tell me? Okay. Ma'am, we should stop reading new current affairs and revise? No, you have to read the current affairs for at least, like your exam is on 7th, 8th September. So at least till the September 1st and 2nd, you have to read the current affairs. Why? Because in the previous years, we have seen that the very recent news articles before the examination have also been seen in the examination. Okay, so that you have to follow. Okay, so from April, May, June, July, August. These 5 months are very important from your examination perspective, from the RBI Grade B perspective. So that you have to cover completely. Okay. And yes, revision is important, right? Okay, so try to answer this question. The SRO for NBFC sector is primarily for the NBFCs in the categories of investment and credit company, the housing finance companies and the NBFC factors. So the SRO for the NBFC sector will be primarily for these kind of NBFCs. So that is correct. That is correct. Okay. To ensure fair representation to smaller NBFCs, the SRO shall have at least 10%, not 20%, shall have at least 10% of the total number of NBFCs in the base layer as per the scale-based regulatory framework and categorized as NBFC, investment and credit company and NBFC factor. So simply the idea is that there are 4 layers: base layer, middle layer, upper layer and top layer. Okay, so the ICC and the factors, they are also in the base layer, and the base layer, investment and credit companies and the factors, they should also be represented through this SRO, and that's why there is a minimum criteria that at least 10% of the total number of NBFCs should be coming from the base layer of the NBFC, ICC and NBFC factors. Okay, so that is the basic idea. And the NBFC, ICC, the NBFC housing finance companies, they can also be in the middle layer. So rest will come from the middle layer. At least 10% should come from the base layer, rest will come from the middle layer and such layers, and you can understand that mostly the SROs will represent these 3 NBFCs. Okay. Failure to achieve the membership within 2 years of the grant of recognition as SRO would render the SRO liable for revocation of the recognition that is granted. That is correct. So first and third are correct. That is C is the right answer. Yes, absolutely correct. Very good. Aditya, Shwetank, Priya, Nitya, Titanium, Superva, Vishwajit, everyone has given the right answer. Very good. Okay, so this is the basic idea, that the invitation of application for recognition of SROs for the NBFC, this was released by the Reserve Bank of India in June. Okay, so as I've told you that we are also discussing 2 or 3 news articles of June. So SRO for NBFC sector is primarily for the NBFC ICC, NBFC, HFCs and NBFC factors. A good mix of these entities is required in the SRO for NBFCs and fair representation to smaller NBFCs, and that's why 10% should come from the base layer for these particular NBFCs. Okay, and there is within 2 years the grant of recognition should happen to the SRO. So now try to answer the next question, that the applicant of SRO for NBFC should achieve a minimum net worth of rupees how many crores within a period of 1 year. So minimum net worth of SRO should be achieved in 1 year. That is, what is the net worth that should be achieved, and a maximum of dash SROs for the NBFC sector will be recognized. So what is the net worth that has to be achieved, as well as how many maximum number of SROs will be recognized in the NBFC segment. So anyone has any idea in this regards? Anyone has any idea in this regards? So try to answer this, try to tell me that what can be the answer here. Okay, I have started getting the answer. Very good, Aditya. Very good, Priya. It should be 2. That is, there should be the net worth, the minimum net worth that has to be achieved is 2 crores, and there is maximum number of SROs that can be recognized in the NBFC sector is also 2. So this is the basic idea that you must know about, okay, because this is a June news article, so a question can directly come from this. So applicant should achieve a minimum net worth of rupees 2 crore within a period of 1 year after recognition as an SRO, as well as maximum of 2 SROs will be recognized in the NBFC sector. Next question is from your Reserve Bank of India released balance of payment data for the 4th quarter. Now you have to tell that the India's current account deficit has moderated to what percentage of GDP during 2023-24. So we are talking about current account deficit. Current account deficit, this has reduced from the previous year 2.0% of the GDP to what percentage of the GDP in 2023-24. So here the answer is B. Very good. It is 0.7%. That is, India's current account deficit has decreased to 0.7% of the GDP during 2023-24 from the 2% of the GDP in the previous year. Okay, you have to remember that all of these news articles we have discussed. So if you have any confusion in a particular news article, you can see the previous sessions. Okay, so now this is the data point that is very important that you must know about, that the current account deficit has decreased to 0.7% of the GDP during 2023-24. There are some other data points that you can read about. You do not have to cram everything, but at least have the basic idea. Okay, that the services exports have increased. There is the services exports have increased. There is the increase in the transfer payments. There is the increase in the transfer receipts and such. Okay. Next is, as per the financial stability report, which of the following statement is or are correct, that you have to tell. Okay. So as per the financial stability report, which of the following statement is or are correct? India's contribution to global growth is rising and currently stands at 18.5% in 2023-24. Is it correct? Is it correct? Real GDP rose by 8.2% in 2023-24, up from the 7% in the previous year. So this is also correct. The asset quality of scheduled commercial bank has recorded sustained improvement and their GNPA ratio has decreased to a 12-year low in March 2024. So this seems correct, but the GNPA ratio is not 0.6%, it is 2.8%. 0.6% is your net non-performing asset, not gross non-performing asset. Okay, yes, so first and second is the correct answer. You had to find the correct statements, and 1 and 2 are the correct statements. So you need to have the basic data points from the FSR, which is the most recent report of the Reserve Bank of India. So it is also very important report of Reserve Bank of India. Okay. As per the financial stability report, the GNP ratio of NBFCs continued its downward trajectory. So till now we were discussing about the SCBs, the data for the scheduled commercial bank in the financial stability report. Now you have to tell me that according to the data for the NBFCs, there is a GNP ratio has a downward trajectory, but the CRAR has stood at what percentage? So CRAR for NBFCs is what percentage, that you have to tell me. So 26.6%. Very good, very good. So this is the basic data point that you have to know about the data for the scheduled commercial bank, about the NBFCs. Okay. So yes, it is NBFCs capital to risk weighted asset ratio is 26.6%. If you do not know that what GNPA is, what CRAR is, you can see the complete session on the financial stability report, in which we have discussed all the data points in detail, and I have explained everything also. Okay, so this is the basic data that we have discussed, that the GNPA ratio of NBFCs, this is the GNPA ratio of NBFCs, that was 4% in March 2024. NNPA was 1.1% in March 2024. The CRAR stood at 26.6% in March 2024. This is for the NBFCs. Okay. Next is the Reserve Bank of India has joined the project Nexus, and you have to tell that which of the following statements is or are incorrect in this regards. So try to answer this question. Let's see how many. RBI Dreamer, I will answer your question at the end of the session. Let's go with the flow right now. Let's continue the questions. I will reply to you. Do not worry about it, okay? Aditi has answered somewhat, but I will reply to you completely, so do not worry about it. So Nexus is a project that is conceptualized by the Innovation Hub of the Bank for International Settlements. That is correct. Okay, it aims to connect the fast payment system of 4 ASEAN countries, that is Malaysia, Philippines, Singapore, and which one? Which is the fourth one? Is it Indonesia? Is it Indonesia? Is it Indonesia? And India, who would be founding members and first mover countries of this platform? Thailand. It is not Indonesia, it is Thailand actually. Okay, so first of all, the 4 countries, 4 ASEAN countries, that is the first mover or founding members is Malaysia, Philippines, Singapore, and Thailand. And India, that is not like in ASEAN, but 4 ASEAN countries and India. Okay, Indonesia is the one that is involved from the early stages and continues to be involved as a spatial observer. So Thailand is a first mover country, is a founding member, but Indonesia is the spatial observer. So there is a change that has happened. So 2 and 3, that is C is the right answer. Okay, yes, Indonesia is the spatial observer, not Thailand. Okay, so 2 and 3 are incorrect statements. Both are having some mistake, and that's why C is the right answer here. Okay, so ASEAN countries, 4 ASEAN countries is Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, and Malaysia, and other than that there is India also, that are the founding members and first mover countries of this platform project Nexus. Okay, Indonesia is the spatial observer in this project Nexus. The platform is expected to go live by 2026. Now coming to the next question, that the external debt to GDP ratio. So the data has been given that you should not be focusing on right now. The question is that the external debt to GDP ratio declined to what percentage at the end of March 2024 from the 19% at the end of March 2023. So from the previous year, there is the decline that has happened in the external debt to GDP ratio. So what is that decline? What is that decline? So that is 18.7%. So in the previous year, there was 19%. At the end of March 2023, there was 19% of the external debt to GDP ratio, which has declined to 18.7% in March 2024. The external debt to GDP ratio has declined. Now you have to understand that the total debt, if you see the total debt that has increased, if you see the external debt has increased by 39.7 billion, but if we see the external debt to GDP ratio, that has declined to 18.7%. So external debt in the amount terms have increased, but as a ratio of GDP, the external debt to GDP ratio, we can say, has declined. Got it? So this is the idea. Yes, E is the right answer here. Okay, so the details you can read about, and the short term debt, the share of short term debt in the total external debt. So this data point was also mentioned in financial stability report, so it becomes a little important. Okay, that the share of the short term debt in total external debt declined to 18.5% at the end of March 2024. So out of the total external debt, the short term debt with original maturity up to 1 year has declined to 18.5%. And this is a good news, that you are not taking a short term debt. If you are taking short term debt, if you take short term debt, that means you are taking it for the immediate necessities. If you are taking long-term debt, that means you are taking it for the infrastructure purposes, for establishing a factory and such. So long-term debt are usually more reliable, as well as you have time to return that debt also. Okay, short-term debts are usually for the immediate necessities, so that has reduced. So short-term debt in total external debt has declined to 18.5%. Okay, now next question. Yes, try to answer this question, that the Reserve Bank of India has revised its incentive framework to push banks to increase the flow of priority sector credit to districts that are having lower credit flow. So there are like priority sector lending happens in different sectors: agriculture, MSMEs, housing, that social infrastructure. So the priority sector lending is happening in these domains, but there are some districts that are getting lesser priority sector lending. So to boost the priority sector lending to these districts, also to have a regional equality, or to decrease the regional disparity, the incentive framework has been boosted by the Reserve Bank of India. Okay, so what is the change that has happened in the incentive framework? I am getting the answer A. So Pushpraj is saying C. Let's see who is correct, who is wrong. With effect from financial year 2024-25, a higher weight of 125% will be assigned to the incremental. If you are giving additional, or if you are giving higher priority sector lending to the districts having lower priority sector lending in the financial year 2024-25. So the priority sector lending weight that will be assigned to you will be 125%. Okay, so this is, and the districts that are having lower priority sector lending are the ones that are having the priority sector lending less than 9,000. Okay, a lower weight of 90% will be assigned for incremental priority sector credit in the identified districts that are having the credit flow of more than 42,000. Not 27,000. Okay, the districts other than those mentioned in the list of lower districts and upper districts having more of the priority sector lending. So districts other than these in the list will continue to have existing weightage of 100%. So first and third are actually correct, and that's why your answer is A. That's why your answer is A. Yes. So here basically in the financial year 2021-22, there was an incentive framework that was introduced, and from this time period onwards, a higher weight of 125% was assigned to the incremental, to the increased priority sector credit in the identified districts that were having PSL less than 6,000. Now it has been increased as less than 9,000. So if you are having less than, if your district is having priority sector lending of less than 9,000 rupees per capita it is, okay, that is per head, then you will get more proud. And if you are getting more priority sector lending, that priority sector lending will have a weight of 125% in the meeting of the targets. Okay, lower weight of 90% has been assigned for the incremental priority sector lending that is happening to the districts that are having per capita PSL lending greater than 42,000. For all the other districts that are not mentioned in this list or in this list as lower or higher districts, then you will have the weightage of 100%. Your priority sector lending in those districts will have the weightage of 100%. This is the basic idea. Any confusion, anyone? Now this is a homework question, because when the Reserve Bank of India changed, or when the Reserve Bank of India told that okay, there is some change that has happened in the incentive framework for the priority sector lending, the RBI also informed that okay, we are going to follow these definitions for the MSME, for the micro, small and medium enterprises. So now you have to tell me that which is the correct statement for the micro enterprise. Okay, so if you are able to answer this correctly, that means you are aware about the micro, small and medium enterprises criteria. So you have to answer this. Now before ending this session, I want to show you that if you have any query regarding the examination, or if you have any query regarding the examination, or if you are confused about the exam, so there is free material blog that is present. So you can go to edutap.co.in, you can go to this free material blog section in which the blogs are provided to you. So you can explore by topic, you can explore by exam, that is RBI Grade B. If you want to know about RBI Grade B, like what is the most important topics for GA, for Quant, for English, what is the syllabus of English. So the basic information is provided here that you can know. If you are confused about it, you can know from here. If you want to know about the strategy, Okay, that is also provided here so that you are aware about the strategy. As well as if you want to know that how the toppers have achieved their dream, if you want to read about it, if you do not have time to see the whole sessions, you want to read about the success stories, so you can read here. Okay, so this is the basic idea, that we are providing free material, the blogs that are very detailed and that are very comprehensively made to provide you the information regarding the examination. If you want to see the courses, that what are the courses and at what price, with what off they are being provided, so you can see all of that here. Okay, so now this is it. Do tell me that out of like 8, how many marks you have got, and do tell me the right answer of the homework question. So now okay, now there are a few queries that I will be taking, then I will end this session. Okay, so RBI Dreamer is saying that these sessions, Finance 360 sessions, are they enough? See, first of all, the sessions that are happening in YouTube, I am trying to bring the important notifications, but you have to go through RBI website or whatever course document you have taken the course of whichever institute, you have a document of current affairs, you have to go through that document, because the sessions are limited in number. And I try to bring the important ones, I try to bring the difficult ones, but I am not able to like tell everything in the YouTube in the limited time. Okay, so RBI website, I am focusing on RBI website mostly, that your notifications, your press releases are getting covered, but still I have told you that you have to go through the RBI website yourself. And how you have to go through the RBI website, I have taken a complete session on that, that what you have to read, what you have to leave. So you have to go to RBI website. Finance 360 sessions, they are relevant for your understanding, for making your base in regards to the difficult notifications and press releases that you cannot do yourself, or if you try to do it yourself, it will take a lot of your time. So that's why we make this Finance 360 sessions, to make the journey easier for you, but at the same time you have to go through the topics yourself also. Okay, Priya is saying, ma'am, I have a doubt that monetary penalties on the banks have to be studied. See, if it is in news, because in the previous year a question has come from it, usually the monetary penalties are huge in numbers, so you cannot remember all of them. Cooperative banks, small finance banks, regional rural banks, all of them are getting penalties in one way or another. So what you have to focus is that what is in news right now. If the Punjab National Bank monetary penalty is in news, so yes, you can have the brief idea about it. Okay, but only have the brief idea, do not try to go too much in depth. And the monetary penalties that is in news, and that is very near to the examination, that is just before the examination, if there are some monetary penalties that are in news, only that you have to focus on. Okay, non-resident claim. Okay, you mean non-resident deposit. So non-residents, they are depositing their money with the banks of our country. So the non-residents, they are depositing their money with the banks of our country. So the banks have the liability to return the money whenever the non-residents demand their money back. So that is the basic idea. Okay, any other confusion anyone has? So this is it. I can see that there is no more confusion. So I will be closing this session now. Thank you so much for joining the session. I hope you enjoyed the session. Do tell me that out of 8, how many marks you have got, and do tell me the answer of the homework question. Okay, you're most welcome, Priya. Thank you so much for joining the session. Thank you everyone. Thank you for joining. You're most welcome, Alisha. Thank you for joining the session.